Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. This time is with the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Guys. Let's get started. Just like with ZO, we don't get the decals. We actually get the figure at a smaller, not smaller, at a cheaper price rate. But Guys was a little bit more expensive because it came with bonus stands, which I'll show later on in the video. But all in all, as much as I like ZO, it's the same for Guys. But I'm noticing something I didn't notice on ZO, maybe because I was too into it. But I'm going to point that out later on. But anyway, let's jump into the video. Let's talk about this rude dude Gaff in the future. So I want to start by saying he looks absolutely stunning. It's a great paint job. It does a really great job. And it's weird that SHF kind of jumps back and forth between 1.0 technology and 2.0, which they give it a little blend or a little upgrade. And for some reason it works for ZO and Guys, but it may not work for other stuff. But anyway, let's jump into the articulation. Get started. We're going with the head scope. So I don't know why I messed up. But with the head, you can look up. You can look not down. You can tilt left and right. But not looking down is a bit of a bummer. And the one thing I'm noticing that I didn't notice with ZO is that the neck peg joint seems to be a little too small because it gives them no neck. Meanwhile, there's a full neck here. So let's say you extended it just a tiny bit more, and now he'd be able to look down just a little bit. This is me if I left the head a little bit on top of the peg. It looks just a tad bit better to me, but you want to get that full articulation. But this is him just leaving the peg right on top, not sitting on the joint. Much better range. So I'm probably going to go with SHF Upgrade and get some better ball joints. But anyway, the arm rotates all the way around. The shoulder joint is actually connected to the piece, which I've always enjoyed. I hate when it's attached to the torso and not to the arm. So this gives you a much better range for your figure. There's bicep swivel as well. Arms are indeed double jointed, so you actually can elbow your opponent should you feel like it. We have the ride watches here. They don't hinder any articulation whatsoever. There's a nice ball joint that goes around. And then the upper torso, much like ZO, you're only limited by the two pieces that cover the chest torso piece to make sure you don't go too far in the waist. But then you have the lower waist to extend that articulation. So you can actually get a great range. Ab crunch going forward is actually really great. And going backwards is pretty decent. It doesn't seem like much, but it does on the figure, does a lot. Then we have the belt here, which actually rotates as part of its gimmick. So that's always fun. As far as the legs, like I stated before, having the drop down method sometimes doesn't work. But for Guys and ZO, it actually works out pretty well. You can actually lift the leg all the way up. There's thigh swivel. Really smooth. Only making noise here and there. The legs are double jointed. Just extend all the way back. As far as leg articulation goes, you can actually have a really decent pivot. It's not crazy good, but I would have liked it to extend a little further. But for what it does on the figure, it does an excellent job. So pose-wise, Guys can actually hit all the poses pretty well. Like I said, with the exception of looking down, he can look up pretty well. So like I said, for really hunched over poses, he looks really, really good. Keeps it nice, keep it simple. It's a nice flow between the figure. So with that being, I forgot to cover the toe pivot. Toe pivot, toe pivot, toe pivot. Yeah. With that being said, let's leave him in a nice pose. Let's go over his accessories as he looks cool and cool for the people. He does come with some hands, so that's pretty good. You get two open action palm hands, which are really nice. They're black and yellow. They look really good, and they go really well with the figure that match the face of the eyes. Well, his visor, I should say, not eyes. So you get these two hands. Next up, you get I don't want to call this a pointing hand, but it can be used as a pointing hand. It also technically can be used to hold his ride watches. So I'm going to actually remove this because you can remove the ride watches. And as you can see, you can actually place it in between. And mine was holding well earlier, but it's not holding now. But you can actually place the ride watches in between to hold. But again, it's not holding now, so forgive me. Hopefully I can get it to hold again in the photos. So you can use this as either a pointing hand or a holding ride watch hand, whichever you prefer. Then you get two palms for his henshin. These are more sort of relaxed action palms, but these are used to twist his belt around when you're doing the henshin pose. They also look They look really cool for doing Kamehameha poses, if you want to do that. You also get one extra palm for, again, holding the ride watch like when you're covering your hand over it. So let's actually, and now I've dropped that and maybe lost it forever. Nope, no I didn't. This is good, this is good. So you get this one hand for covering the palm of the ride watch. So if you want to hold it just in hand, you can. Now it won't hold it securely, but it will look good in the hand. So keep that in mind. I'm actually going to leave that down there just real quick. So I'm going to move him back because he doesn't come with much accessories. I think for a 5,000 yen figure, that's actually not too bad. But if you are into the 20th Rider Watch anniversary stuff, you do get a bonus stand for him. And you get one as well for Zio. So you get 2 bonus stands. So considering these are coming out with the reissues of a lot of riders, it's pretty cool to knock these guys out pretty fast and pretty well. So I'm a huge fan, you know. I like these. They look good. And if you are running low on stands, this actually helps. Real quick, I want to stand him up. And I want to compare him to not only Zio, I wish to compare him to my other guys, which I added the SHF Upgrade stickers to. So I want to talk about that for a second. In my Zio video, I also put the link description to SHF Upgrade, and I'll do it again in this one. The link will be in the description below. So here we have with no decals, and here he has one with decals. So there's Drive Ghost and his ride watch, as well as the 2 others. So it's pretty cool and just adds that extra flair to him that you just don't get here. It just looks better with the actual ride watch having little decals. So if you haven't already, you can go to SHF Upgrade with the link in the description, and hopefully still has something to purchase. So I just wanted to point that out. Next up, we're going to see how he looks next to Zio, as well as other riders and other lines. So these 2 absolutely look really good and gorgeous together. I like their look a lot. Just completely different colors that work well for each other. And I want to get them in dynamic pose, but I'm just trying to do too much right now. But they actually look really good together. Seems like Geiz may be a little bit taller because of his visor, but that's nothing too crazy. In any case, let's see how he looks with an SHF figure, Kamen Rider Kuga of the renewal line, because they're actually promoting these guys as well for the anniversary series with the end of Heisei. So he doesn't look bad with Kuga at all. I think he looks really good, red on red. Obviously, Kuga has different proportions, and I have his chest raised up a little. But I think size-wise, they actually work really well with each other. Next up, we'll see what he looks like next to other lines. But first, I want to put Drive out. Drive is not a reissue, but I want to see how he looks with a normal other SHF that's not Zio. And I just happen to have Drive out, so let's do a comparison real fast. So yeah, it seems like a red day, right? So yeah, they actually look good together as well. So this works out pretty good. Next up, let's see what it looks like next to a Marvel Legend and an Articulated Icons Ninja. I don't think this line is too bad. I think they actually, even though the size differences are okay, they're not, none of them are too much taller than the person. It's like if you were with a bunch of friends and all you guys were different heights. So this actually works out, right? Next up, a Synthetic Human. And then let's do a Mezco, which is Commander Rogers. This one is a little bit more different though, because even though it works well with Synthetic Human, the Mezco may be a little too big and a little too bulky size-wise, unless you're going to do some forced perspective stuff. But otherwise, I think you can make it work, but just not in standing still. Next up, let's compare him to a Mafex superhero. I have Batman out, so let's use Batman. So as you can see, size-wise, SHF just doesn't work well with the Mafex stuff. Definitely way more blended for the domestic stuff, so that doesn't work there. But overall, I like Geiz. I love his price point. It took a little bit of the upgrade stickers to make him look perfect. Maybe an extension of the neck would be better. And I think that's really my only 2 issues. No decals and no real neck extension, which I'm just now coming around to. But hopefully I can find some way around that. I don't think it's too big of a gripe. But if you do love Kamen Rider, this is definitely a great addition to your collection. And if not, you think it's a passing figure, if the gripes are too much for you, it's an easy pass, right? In the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you found it informative. Most of all, hope you do good, be good, drink your water, guys. Later.